There are some people that can flat out control a room, but I'm going to talk to you today about a guy that can control a graveside. I spent 13 years in the funeral industry, direct side. I'm still in another space connected to it, but direct side, I did for 13 years, regardless of what my title was. I probably stood uh, 20 to 50 burials a month for 13 years. My wife kind of lamented this so often because she said that I had gotten commonplace with death, and death didn't move me anymore because it was my norm. It's what I did every day. Uh, you know, I just didn't react. A whole part of me was taken out. So I'm not someone that did it one or two times, but I can't tell you the other times that I had conversations about death would probably be countless. And I learned from many, when I got in the industry, I went and met many of the masters in the funeral space in Memphis, Tennessee. I've sat and listened for hours to the late Monroe J. Edwards, the late Evelyn Cooper, the late Edgar Miller, the late G.P. Gillespie, the late Adriana Harrison. And I learned so much from each one of them. And one of my mentors, the living mentors, because you can't ever, there's no story that Eddie Hayes in his 70s hadn't seen happen. There's just none. Eddie Hayes was been around a funeral home his whole life, worked in the industry, so he's seen it all, heard it all, and probably witnessed it all. So I've learned from him. Reverend David Kraft, the same way. And then there are women in the industry. You can't sleep on a Zelma Eaton and Sister Miller, the Ford sister. You know, there are women in the industry, or Doris Hayes. You can't sleep on them. But many times in each city, they push the larger funeral homes. And sometimes there are unsung guys that have a gift that aren't recognized because you don't see them on the regular. The late, I mean, I learned so much from those that are late, but I did learn this from David Kraft. He says, son, you don't want every service. And I was looking at him, man, after being a 20-year car guy, no, I want every service. Those words rang prophetic to me. For any young funeral practitioner, those words are true. You don't want to be in every service, but you want to be in a conversation when they decide every time. There's a guy that smaller, associated with a smaller funeral home, but he's a great practitioner. His name is B.T. Austin. B.T. Austin not only has control in the church, B.T. Austin can control the graveside. We get to the end of a service on many gravesides, and you do your graveside speech. I made a post about that in a funeral home group. And I got to know one funeral home's Curtis Timms had one so great. And boy, Michael Sanders can rock it like few others, but I rocked it one time in a service of 300 Mexicans, and they went to another place. And it went like this: a bell is not a bell unless you ring it. A song is not a song unless you sing it. A book is not a book unless you read it. And love isn't love unless you give it. Because perhaps in the upcoming days, weeks, months, and perhaps even years, this family will need your love more than ever. So turn around, grab somebody, and tell them, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And, Michael Sanders just a master at that one. But B.T. Austin not only could take A graveside. B.T. Austin can tell a funny story. And I've seen B.T. Austin at contentious funerals, where the families are literally at war. And I was once trained by a former Supreme Captain of the Nation of Islam, so I can spot a gun, someone wearing a gun at close quarters. Used to freak him out at Temple Deliverance when I was there. Sir, are you wearing a weapon? And the guy would say, I'm a police officer. How could you know that? Well, and I kind of got trained on that in a past life. But nowadays, there's no mystery about who's wearing a gun. Everybody got one. These guys are wearing these drakes in their pants and they're hanging out. You see the clip, you see everything. So there's no mystery. B.T. Austin can tell a funny story at a graveside where the families are ready to start Armageddon. I've seen B.T. Austin tell at one of the most contentious service. We got police officers there. We got people at bay. Everybody's just bated breath, waiting for this. What do they say? Waiting for the committal, and everybody's gonna run to their car. For as much as it pleased Almighty God and His all-wise providence to take out of this world the soul of our deceased brother, we therefore commit his body to the ground, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, awaiting the general resurrection. I heard a voice from heaven saying, right blessed are the dead which die in the Lord. From henceforth said the Spirit that they do have rest from their labors and their works do follow them. Oh, I still know the graveside speak. I know committal, the committal. But hey, BT had these families that they're ready to go to war. I know it's a million guns. I saw even folks getting out the car with guns on. And B.T. Austin gives 3 funny stories. I mean, the first one was risky. The second one was even riskier. And by the time he gets to the third, I'm in a full panic. And B.T. Austin said there was a conversation between a mother and a son. And the son told his mama, that's it. I'm not going back to church no more, mama. You can't tell me that I'm going to church. And the mother said, there's 2 reasons that you got to go back to church. The first thing, it's right. And the second the second reason why you got to go back is you the pastor. Everybody fell out laughing. They dropped their guns. Everybody walked out of there harmonious. Only B.T. Austin could control a moment like that. So while people are out there saying, I control the room, B.T. Austin can control a graveside like few others. You'd be surprised, and you say, oh, well, he only deals with those unlearned folks. B.T. Austin will have the folks with the PhD and the folks that are from the very parlors of privilege. He'll have them laughing too. So I got to give him credit. We always talk about the large funeral homes and the large guys. B.T. Austin, respect. It's a gift that you've mastered, because I sure would have told funny stories at gravesides like that. For you to come out of that, you're a master too. Have an awesome day.